speaker coming up, and it is my old friend, Fausto Pugliese, founder and president of Cyber Trading University. Fausto, can you hear me?
Yeah, John, I hear you perfectly fine. How are you?
Good. Where are you broadcasting from today in the world?
Oh, beautiful Long Island. It's finally going to get warm out here. Thank God. I've been freezing for the past 3 weeks.
It's been a miserable winter,
I don't use my fireplace anymore. So I'm tired of going to get ready for boating season, actually.
It's March and you're getting ready for boating season?
Absolutely. Fish start
You're
hitting.
obviously made of sterner stuff than I am.
Listen, we all have hobbies, and some people like to golf. Some people like to garden. I like to fish. So
I climb mountains.
And then the best part about it, if you could teach a guy how to fish, you could feed him for life. So
I've
that's why
heard
we're
that.
here.
I think it's out of the Bible.
Exactly is. And that's why we're here. We're here to teach everyone how they can actually start doing it on their own. And that's most important, because in today's volatile market, you better know what you're doing, or it's not looking, because it doesn't look too well with all the stuff that's going on in this world.
So what kind of fish do you get out there in Long Island Sound?
Surprisingly, now there's a big thing that's going on. There's a lot of tuna that's coming up really close to shore. So because a lot of regulators, they stopped a lot of the commercial fishing. So we do a lot of some of you are familiar with lemon sole, black sea bass, striped bass. Pretty much, they call me Fluke and Fausto, believe it or not, on my boat. So I'm a big fluke fishing, which is pretty much like big lemon soles and stuff like that. So that's what I enjoy. But black sea bass is actually the best eating fish. If you ever get an opportunity, that's probably the best eating fish in the ocean.
Out here at salmon country, we're all about salmon.
Yeah, I like salmon a lot too. They're pretty big fish too. So.
Yeah, we bring them in the boat and eat them raw, right on the spot when they're still warm.
Sashimi. There you go.
Right. So why don't you go ahead and get your screen up, and I'll read your introduction. Fausto,
just make me a co-host. That's why I need to be done. So
okay, yeah, Kate, you want to get him set up? Fausto is the founder and president of Cyber Trading University. He began his career on Wall Street as a stockbroker and was one of the first independent traders to take advantage of the direct access trading technology boom that started in 1987. He has appeared on Fox News, CNBC, and other financial shows. He also writes for Equities Magazine and hosts a radio show on Biz Radio. Fausto was one of the original day traders of the early 1990s and one of the first independent traders to take advantage of direct access trading technology boom in 1987. He acquired a wealth of knowledge from years and hands of experience, beginning in the trenches, working side by side with some of the most practiced and successful traders in the industry. After spending considerable time mastering the art and discipline of day trading, Fausto chose to start his own company to share some of his highly sought after wisdom. So Fausto, you have until 5 minutes before the hour, and then we're going to hand out our next batch of prizes to the listeners.
No problem, John. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. And Kate, thank you for having me also. So let's get started. Let's get right into it. So basically what I'm going to talk about is what's called the tip of the iceberg. What that basically means is basically how to find the right stocks out there, but most importantly, not to focus too much on the past, but to focus on the future. If some of you ever seen me before, I was on Friday, I did an event with Nasdaq, the exchange, did a whole thing on Nasdaq Book Viewer. You can watch on YouTube, and I don't know if you guys follow them, but I'm one of their regular speakers also. But I also going to talk about some of you that trade on Thinkorswim. There's something called Level 4 that we just started, that they just started implementing, which is called the book map. I'm going to talk a little bit about that. But you're going to learn something that's going to be very unique. I'm actually a professional trader, but I was also a market maker here in New York. Been doing it for over 25 years, and nothing really has changed other than technology got better, ticket charges got cheaper, and you don't have to work for somebody. You could do it on your own. So before we get started, just a quick little risk disclosure. Just want to tell you, there's no guarantees of doing this. All right. So what I'm just showing you, this is going to be strictly educational. I'm not going to give you any warranties or anything else. So I'm just being very, very honest and very straightforward. Some of you might not like what I have to tell you, but at the end of the day, I think I save more lives of people blowing up their accounts than going out there and just doing it on their own and not knowing what they're doing. So better if you learn what's going on. And that's why, John has you here today to have all these great speakers. Now, what we're going to learn, we're going to talk about something called tradable and non-tradable stocks. We're going to talk about what makes stocks move, what doesn't make them move. We're going to talk a little about level 3, the ECN book. We're also going to talk about tape reading. This is what I am. If you ever read any of the old books, they're called tape readers. And actually how to progress and make this as a full-time job. But it's really not a full-time job. It's actually a part-time job. You don't have to be here all day. You could just trade the first hour, the last hour, and that's it. So that's really what trading is all about. Now, like I said earlier, there's actually a video of me on the floor of the Nasdaq where they ring the bell. And like I said, I've been a regular guest there talking about it. It was just there on Friday because the exchanges want you to know how to trade on these systems, because if you know how, let's just say, if you just know how the car works, right? Forget about the beauty and the convenience. If you just understand, the functionality of it, it's going to make you that much better of a trader. You'll know why you got in, why you got out, why you lost money, why you're making money. You got to know what direct access is. But that is really not my main focus today. My main focus is to show you the most popular strategy of what brokerage firms do. It's about following the high frequency trades, following the algorithms, the dark pools, all those things that you're always petrified about, because that's really what I do. Now, I don't know if some of you ever read my book, How to Beat Market Makers at Their Own Game, but you know what? It's a great read, fast read. And kind of like gives you a little bit more of a basic of what it's all about. Now, how I got started, you can see from this article, a bunch of kids tormenting Wall Street. I was actually one of those kids. You could, for a pretty funny screen right there, is that we used to make money on a 15-inch monitor. Now you get people, they got 6 monitors, 27 inches. They can't, it's like they're landing the space shuttle. If we can make money in that one stinking monitor, why you need all the other ones, And that's what you need to understand. You need to know what we're looking at, because it's all about following the data. That's it. You follow the data, and that's all you need to do. Now, always like to tell you a little history about myself and about my family. My parents are both immigrants. I came here from Italy, first generation Italian. And my dad always taught me, when he came to this country, he says, listen, if you want to be very successful, you have to learn from the best people in the industry. You can't do it on your own, okay? No matter what it costs you, and don't worry about the money. You should actually pay them to teach you how to do it, because if you love something, what you do, you want to do for the rest of your life. And that's the beauty about what my parents taught me. And you know what? My family did really well. All my kids did really well over the years, all my siblings. My brother sold, Skinny Cow ice cream for, several, almost $1 billion. My other brother was a race car driver. My sister's an entrepreneur. Just really showing us that surround yourself with good people, stay away from the bad ones, do what they do, watch what they do. You might not like what they tell you, but you know what? They're only looking out for your best interest. And you know what? It's done wonders for me. I've been married for about 23 years now. I got 3 wonderful boys. I was able to pay for their colleges, and I think the career that I have kind of helped me keep that relationship going, because I was able to spend more time with them. I was able to provide for them, and you know what? I got a second family, which you see right here. I got a family, that's my students, and hopefully your guys going to be one of those. That's what I'm really looking for. So I'm here to kind of find some traders I could trade, because listen, the way I teach my traders, eventually they grow up and they go teach other people, because it's really not that hard to do it. You just got to know what's going on. So let's get right into it. And now you know a little history about myself. Let me kind of show you exactly what the real strategy is. Now, what you're about to see might be a little disappointing. You might be a little discouraged, but you're going to realize that trading is not that difficult. It's not really that complicated. And we're going to talk about the fake orders, the real orders, all these things that you hear about. But before I do that, I just want to give a quick little poll to get to know a little bit of everyone. Can you guys just tell me in the trading room how long you've been trading for? Are you brand new? Less than a year? 1, 3, 4, 5 years? Just want to get to know the experience of all the traders that are in here. Wayne, you're new? Okay. Kevin, 1 year, 5 year, less than a year. Bruno? Okay. 6 years. Jeffrey? Very good. Listen, great traders never stop learning. All right. Listen, I learn something new every day. I attend webinars. I listen to, there's some great speakers in here. I was just on the, was with Tom Busby from DTI. I was listening, he's learned a lot from me. He couldn't believe something. Anything that gives you the edge, that's what matters. All right, now, my next question to you is this. Could you guys tell me what kind of trader are you? Are you a swing trader, a day trader, a stock trader, options, futures, Forex, just a little everything, crypto? What kind of traders we have in here? Now, the reason I ask this question is that I want you to understand that there's a lot of styles of trading, and 70% of it is all the same. It's psychology, it's discipline. 30% is really just a difference of different markets. And I just want to give everybody a little advice before we continue and show you my strategy. If you're not making money, what you're doing for about 3 months, you got two problems. Number one, you probably have a bad guru, but if he's not, it's probably not your style, and it's okay to change. But if anyone's telling you it's going to take you 6 months, a year, whatever, you're wasting your time. I don't think anybody would pay an employee, 6 months to a year and figure he's going to figure it out. Or maybe some of you work with some of these people like, you know what? You find out the first week he doesn't cut it, they got to go, because they'll do more harm to you than themselves. And that's what you do have to understand about trading. You don't want to, this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not like Las Vegas. Let me get, enjoy the weekend. You're looking to do this because you want to manage your own IRAs. You want to manage your own accounts. You work really hard, and seeing everything else that's going on in this world, it's been a hell of a fun market. Maybe not, as what we're seeing, but as a trader, the volatility has been great. So everything that I talk about, I'm going to invite every single one of you into the original trading room. It's called the Cyber Group Room that we do every morning. We broadcast live every day. We're there all day. We're in pre-market, aftermarket. So everything that I'm going to talk about today, you're going to see this live, in the trading room for 1 week. And I'll tell you how to register at the end. So that's going to be the goal. Okay. Now, ever have a friend ever tell you, hey, I got a tip of the day. Hey, this thing's moving. You know what I mean? Like, you ever hear that story and you're like, and then you look at it and you see the news and you see what's going on, like, I don't know, and you lose money on it. Listen, it's not about tips. You don't want a tip. I get tips all the time. All right. But you have to understand something. There's an industry that makes everything move. I'm going to start talk about marijuana stocks. Okay. Now, the reason why I'm talking about this, because it's going to lead to what's going on today. Everybody remember about the marijuana stocks? It was like this big, pot's going legal. They all took off, right? Look at them now. They all got crushed. Every single one of them. Because buy on rumor, sell on news. All right. Now, and you can see constantly CGO. Look at all these stocks getting crushed. Now, why they keep going down? That's the question you have to ask yourself. Who's pushing them down? Buyers and sellers. That's all you need to know about being a professional trader. You have to follow the money. Now, let's talk about energy stocks. Did anybody here trade any of the energy stocks the past 2 weeks? Anyone, what was it? What is it? We had the BTU, all of them. CGI, all these stocks. Anybody trade any of the energy stocks? Okay. Well, if you look right here hold on, I'm getting my little pointer right here so you guys can follow along. I kind of eliminate that. There we go. There's my little pointer. So right here, you could see, this is basically, you can follow me on Twitter. We post all our trades in the morning and afternoon. You can follow us on YouTube. We're broadcast live at 9 a.m. at 2:30. But most importantly, when you come to the trading room, you need to do any of that. But if you want to backtrack, because I always ask people always ask me, do you show your trades? Yeah, absolutely. And you could see right here, all these stocks right here, wheat stocks. We know what's going on. I mean, listen, I know you don't live in a bubble, but we all know what's going on with gas. We know what's going on with Russia. We know what's going on with Ukraine. And there's an industry that's making that go up. Now, for everyone here that's complaining about what's happening with oil and gas, well, unfortunately, those catastrophes that are hurting the general public, people like you and I, as traders, like you and I right now, are benefiting from this. Look at INDO. This stock was literally $20, and in 2 days, the stock ran to 90. I don't think you have a problem paying for $6, $7 of gas from $2 when you could buy 1,000 shares of stock at 20 and the stock goes to 90. I think that will cover it because everything is relative. And if you missed that one, IMPP, another energy stock in 2 days goes from $2 to $8. 9 stock right out of the gate went from 250, shot up because people started saying, oh, there's a new energy stock. There's a new energy stock. They didn't trade this energy stock, right? Traders don't care what we trade. We just want to make money, right? Think about that for a second. Do you really care what you trade? USGE, another stock. Look at this. Student of ours, Grant Brockway, did really well with it. Stock goes from $7 to 14 in 1 day. And this is in pre-market, 8 a.m. And when the market opened up, look where the thing ran up. So we do a lot of pre-market trading. We see the direction. You're going to see what happens in our trading room. How do we know that? Because I was one of these market makers that you hear that people complain about every day. All right. Listen, you can't beat them. You just got to join them. That's how really it works. Now, how do we find these stocks is not that complicated. People always think like, how did you find this stock? How did you know? Listen, there's no crystal ball out there. We just work off the big percentage gainers list. And when you see one stock, you'll see them all follow along. Like the new big thing right now is, I don't know if you guys are afraid to short. Look what's happened with the Chinese stocks, right? All of them are crashing. Why? Because the SEC is now going to crack down on it. Because why do all these companies don't have to report? Now they're forcing them to report because of a stock LK, which is a copycat of Starbucks coffee, which people got destroyed. You know, look at all the Chinese educational stocks, EDU, $200 stock. Where's it now? $1. So they're all getting beat up. Now, all these tips are really not that bad. All right. Because when I get a tip, basically, or someone tells me something, I'll just go look and see, okay, let's see what the street's doing. And that's what you're going to learn right now. We're going to know how we follow the street. Now, does anybody here have, you had at 200 a share? Oh my God, Tom, Rick, you really had LK at that price? I hope you sold it. You know, people like, should I sell it at 10? You know what I mean? It's already got crushed. Should I sell it at 2? You know what? I hope you didn't average down because that's the second biggest mistake people make. Let's hop on over here. Let's get into the strategy part of it. Does anybody here have level 2 quotes? Just give me a yes or no. Anyone have level 2? Yes, no, a little bit. Have no idea what you're talking about. All right. So if you have level 2, I'm going to explain about it. All right. Let me just get my little crayons in here. So level 2 basically is you get to see where all the exchanges are. New York Stock Exchange, Nasdaq Exchange, all the ECNs out there. These are your buyers and these are your sellers. So you're just looking at the raw data. Column 1 is the exchange. Column 2 is the price. Column 3 is the amount of shares they want to buy and also want to sell. Whoever wants to buy for the most is up on top. Whoever wants to buy for less is down at the bottom. The problem with level 2, it's outdated. Okay, it's been outdated since the 90s. Damn, that's almost 30 years ago. Yeah, that's how long it's been. All right. So, because it doesn't show you the full depth. And another thing you guys got to keep in mind, and I know I was listening to before some of you chat to the previous presenter asking them why don't you do it for free? Listen, I'm warning everybody here right now. Listen to me carefully. And I don't care if you leave or you want to write some bad thing about me. If you're looking for free stuff, you better quit trading. There's nothing free in this world. My father always taught me, you don't want anything for free, you just want a good deal. Because there's a catch. Nobody works for free. So when you see free software out there, my question to you, that you tell the person, I'm just curious, how you guys make money? I mean, you have employees, you pay insurance, minimum wage went to $15 an hour. Who built this stuff? What's free? What's the catch? So always remember that. You don't want it for free. Now, back in the days, I used to pay $1,000 a month for this, right? Now, this thing costs $15 a month. People are like, well, does that sound like a lot? Listen, if you can't afford $15, you better just quit trading. You're wasting your time. And I'm just being very honest from you. It's a New York thing. I guess that's how I was raised, but I just hate to see people lose money. I've done, me and Tom have done so many presentations over the years, and I just want to kind of just tell you guys a little about that. All right. Now, Next question is this. Now let's get into the exciting part of it. Does anybody here have total view, Nasdaq total view? I've been telling my family that for years, Lewis. Well, thank you very much, because that's why you're here. You're here to interview us to see who could teach you and who you want to basically try. Now, yes, no, we don't have a lot. Okay, good. Now let me tell you what we have right here. Nasdaq total view is basically one exchange. You got the New York Stock Exchange, you got the Nasdaq exchange. So what you're looking right here is every single order out there in the entire world. Think about that for a second. You have a seat on the exchange. When I used to trade, to get a seat on the exchange, you had to come up with about $5 million. Now it's free, okay? Well, meaning you don't have to pay for a seat. You get access to it, but you got to pay for certain technology for it. Think about that for a second. You're about to see something that is going to change your way of thinking of trading for life. You're going to see about 70% right now, 70% of where all the buyers and sellers are. Now, you think about that for a second. How much smarter and better trading decisions would you make if you're able to see all the high frequency trades, the algorithms, the institutions, the Warren Buffetts of the world? You're about to see it right now. So let's get right into it. Let me show you the power of what you're about to see. Right here on the left, you're looking at a chart, very basic chart, no indicators, no nothing. Here's a stock that went from 1360. And if you notice, right, it went all the way down to about 10:30 in the morning, kind of stopped there. And not for like a second, it was hovering there for about an hour. Kept hitting this price, 1260, 1260, 1260, 1260. Now, we obviously, some of you might say, oh, that's a support level. Wrong. You cannot have a support level. Support levels do not exist unless the buyer is out there to make that support levels. Now, when you look over here on Nasdaq Book Viewer, you'll notice that there's a 100,000 share buyer out there. Okay. You got buyers from 1293, 200, 500. I mean, look at this. 181,000 shares. Are you telling me you think you're smarter than that guy? Yeah, you know what? Let me know how that works out for you. Okay. Because it didn't work out too well if you didn't jump in right after 11 o'clock. And if you did jump in, because that guy needs to buy those shares. And if no one's selling to him, there's only one other way he can get it. He's got to buy from the sellers. And that's the guys on the right. And then when you wonder why that stock went up, it wasn't a Fibonacci. It wasn't President Biden. It wasn't oil. It was because of that buyer. He had a limit order out there. He wasn't getting executed. And if you weren't following his lead, you went from 1260 to 1340. Make yourself, I don't know, what is that? 80 cents on 1,000 shares, $800. Guess what? Nice $200,000 salary. I'll take that any day. I know you would too. Let's talk about resistance. Here's a stock that goes from $2 from 10 o'clock this morning. And you know what? You could be riding the great wave. Wow, I'm up to 350. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You're like, oh, look at this stock. It's going up. It's great. I'm making so much money. And you're like, oh, you know what? It had previous resistance. This stock could probably go back to 8, 10. Listen, you can't get greedy when it comes to trading because there's always someone out there that's selling. And you got to know where he is. And look what happened when it got almost to $5 a share. There was a 215,000 share seller. Okay. Now look at all the sellers out there. You think I'm going to take a 100 share seller? Or I would definitely take the 2,000 share seller more seriously. 1,700, but you're talking 215,000 shares, talking over $1 million worth of stock. You're not putting $1 million into an idea. You know that you're not buying 200,000 shares of stock. Because if you did, you wouldn't be here. But wouldn't it be nice to follow that guy? And guess what? If you didn't have that game plan and you didn't take that profit, guess what? Now you're down to 4. And now you're like, damn it, why did I get greedy? You didn't get greedy because you didn't watch what everyone else was doing. Let's go over a couple more other examples. AMC. We all know about AMC. One of the meme stocks. One of the Reddit stocks, great little stock, right? AMC is falling. It's obviously now it's trending down. I still have people till today that that are still like double, triple down. Oh, it's going to 3,000. Okay, great. God bless you. This is not Bitcoin. All right. It's not an anomaly. Now, the question is this, fellow traders. What do we need for the stock to stop going lower? Anybody tell me? What's going to prevent the stock from going lower? What do we need? Thank you very much, Lewis. What about you, Ann? I didn't hear from you. Amit, Bob, Brute. Guys, don't be shy. No one can see your chat. I just want to make sure you're following along. Listen, I'm here. I don't want to waste my time, and hopefully I'm not wasting your time. If you can't answer this question, Earl, if you can't answer this question, you should quit trading. I am more of a person that will tell you more about the losers than the winners. Remember, as a parent, I think we're out there more telling our kids the bad things they're doing, not the good things. And that's how I treat my traders, because I hate seeing people lose money and there's no reason for it. Well, let's go hop over here and check out Book Viewer. What do you think when we got those buyers that all of you guys called out? And there's 170,000 share buyers sitting at $16. What do you think in theory is going to happen when we get to that 16 bucks? Anybody have an idea? Well, exactly. I don't think it's going any lower, because that is what we call a demand, okay? That is called support levels. And you could see the raw data out there. Now, once again, this is not the Fausto indicator, okay? I don't want to take credit for it. I have nothing to do with this, okay? This all has to do with looking on the exchange and looking where the buyers are. And guess what? What did it do? It hit it, it went back up. It hit it, and in a matter of 10 minutes, it finally went up from 16 to 1660. If you bought 1,000 shares of that stock at 16 and you sold at 1660, you make $600 in less than an hour. I don't know too many people do that other than doctors and lawyers and, and some other people probably I want to be affiliated with. But you know what? That could happen. And that's why people they see the opportunity. You do that every day. If you can make yourself 50 cents a day on 1,000 shares, you're talking about $100,000 a year salary. Forget about all those people out there that are bragging about, hey, look at my nice Ferrari. Look at look at this nice house I bought. Hey, my next $1 million producer. You know what? I don't know if those people are telling the truth or whatever, but even if they are, that doesn't help you. Some of us just want to live. And you don't have to kill it to make a very successful career in trading. And that's where people make their mistake. Let's go look at American Airlines, because this works on every single stock out there. Once again, you focus, no indicators. We're looking at something very basic. Look at the stock right here. It's steadily, American Airlines is steadily going up. Now, what do we need for the stock? I mean, listen, if you got a profit, right, and you're doing pretty well, what is your game plan? Your game plan is to know where the next biggest sellers are and where to take a profit, because that is a substantial amount of money. Well, when we look right here, it's not as exotic where you're seeing the six-figure sellers, but you do got a 50,000 share seller out there, okay? And, listen, there's sellers 6,000, 4,000, 2,000. I mean, 52,000 is probably 50 times more than the average that's out there. I think you should take that guy seriously, because if he's looking to sell 50,000, what makes you think it's going higher? Because you flew American Airlines, and I love the company. Listen, I don't care how much you love a stock, but if you didn't know when to get out, boom, in a matter of, I don't know, 10 minutes, what is that, 20 minutes, stock goes from right at that resistance levels at 1425 down to 1360. Wouldn't that really stink? And look how hard it took you to make that money all day. You'd work several hours to make that huge profit, and you lose it in 10 minutes. Why? Because you got greedy. Why? Because you think American Airlines is a great company, or whatever. And then you say, oh, no, it's a shitty company. It doesn't matter what you think. It's what the street thinks. Follow the money. These are what we call iceberg orders here at Cyber Trading University. Listen, it's not what's on top of the water, it's that's on the bottom of the water. And I always say, I came up with this word, calling these big things iceberg orders, because what happened to the Titanic? We all know about that story. Didn't work too well for them. They were more concerned about the beauty of the ship than worry about safety. Safety always first. Now, Have any of you ever heard of something called level 4? Now, I just showed you something some of you never seen before. Now, could you imagine there's something even bigger than that? Better? Anyone have level 4? No one has it. Fabulous. Let me show you this. Some of you like to look at some heat maps, or you want to see consistency. Well, we were just looking at one exchange. Imagine that you're able to aggregate New York Stock Exchange, EDGX, all these exchanges, because you know what? There might be somebody on the New York Stock Exchange that wants to sell a lot, but might not be a lot on Nasdaq. But imagine you get to see a bunch of them. And not only that, but you could see how long he's been out there. So what we have right here is called a heat map. And you could see that the stock came down, hit these lines right here. What they indicate are orders. Those are buyers. And you could see how the buyers get executed. And then the buyer kept going out there. And you can see the buyers keep going out there. And you could see how long they've been out there for. And for example, we're looking at here is, I think this is, what stock is this? VERU, okay. And not only that, but you could see how sellers could push down the stock. He pushed it down, he pushed it down, he pushed it down. Look at this guy, he kept pushing it down. So every time it goes up, he showed up. Once the stock came back, he showed up again. Showed up, he kept coming up again. So you could see the consistency of these orders out there. The 40,000 shares. I mean, listen, they're buyers, 1,000, 100, constant sellers out there. Here's another example. Look at that. Look at the ladder effect. And if you didn't know that seller was out there, you would never probably got out and took that loss. You know, one of the hardest things to teach traders is losses. Okay. You know, everybody likes to talk about the winners. If you heard me what I said before, I like to talk about the losers more than anything, because I don't know, I'm not an egotistical person. Maybe when I was 24 years old, I just turned 50. Okay. I don't like, you know, I don't need to brag or any, first of all, I think that's, you know, like I said, there's no reason for it. And not only that, it doesn't help you, right? Everyone's biggest issue is, you know, that you need to know when you're on the wrong side. How many of you here have losers? How many of you here have losers that you wish you sold a while ago and you're still holding on to them? You think they're going to come back? All right. And then you're like, damn, I should have sold it. Every one of them, Michael. You know what? I'm glad you're honest, Mike. That's really proud of you. You know what? That right there gives you a lot of courage to say that. But it's time to stop losing, and it's time to start winning. But to start winning, you got to control the losers first. Okay. Do you ever feel like sometimes you're trading and as soon as you buy a stock, as soon as you buy it, the thing goes down, and then as soon as you sell it, it goes up? Anyone ever have that issue? Ever have that problem? All the time? Okay. Now, I always just tell everyone, you know what the problem is? They're not watching you. Okay. The problem is you're not watching them. That's the big issue. Once you start watching what they're doing and you start realizing, you'll be like, oh, you know what? I deserve to get out of that stock. You know, I should have lost money on that trade. And by the way, we're going to go look at some stocks. And for some of you here, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show you, you know, some of the stocks that you're in. You know, if anyone has anything you want my professional opinion, I'll show you, you know, in the market where you should have gotten in and got out of them, where these iceberg orders are. And then, you know what? You might not feel that bad. Sometimes it's okay to admit you're wrong. And you're like, you know what? I got greedy. There was a big seller out there. You know, I don't know, whatever it is, but I'm glad I saw that seller out there and I lost money on it, because next time that happens, I'm gonna take that guy seriously. That's how you have to work. Anthony, actually, it does work for cryptocurrency, which is what we're doing a class that's coming up in the next week at Cyber Trader University. We're not going to talk about that now. It does work for futures, okay? But you got to remember, and it does work for options, but you got to remember, I know some of you here listen, if you want to be a good options trader, you got to learn how to trade the stock first. Listen, if you can't be a good stock trader, you're going to be a horrible options trader. You know, don't trade options because of the leverage. You trade it for, there's a strategy behind it, but it's a lot more riskier. It's a lot easier just to trade the stock black and white, tight spreads, everything else. A couple of questions came across here, and I just want to hit them up really quick. I got a question from Jeffrey. Now, these are the days I used to get hammered all the time. I would win 70, 80% of the time and then lose money overall. Now I'm winning about 40% of the time, but not making money consistently. And Jeffrey, that's what makes you a good trader, because you want to fix the ones you're not making. But listen, the winners take care of themselves. The losers you got to worry about. And that's what you got to control. I mean, every time my losers, haha, I've been yes lately, and losers. Okay, Mike. Well, thanks for sharing your comments on that. What is the best chart you use? Paul, I don't know what that means. What do you mean the best chart? Okay. The chart is basically just keeping it simple. There are literally over thousands of indicators, if that's what you're asking me. All right. Let's just keep things boilerplate. Just a simple bar chart and just knowing where the orders are. And then you'll see why we focus on the future and not focusing on the past. Let's move on with this stock right here. Now, listen, if you didn't focus on this seller at 1149, look where it is now. It's down to 1050. And guess what? This is all happening in pre-market. How many of you here have access to pre-market? How many of you guys see what's going on and say, damn, you know what? I wish I was able to get out there earlier. Wayne, you don't, right? A lot of you don't. And you know what? You probably didn't even know it even exists. But it does. You do have access to it. And I'm going to show you this when you come into my trading room. And not only that, don't judge me on my don't judge on me. Look at my traders, the people like you that were in that picture, because they were you when they first came. But Fausto, my indicators told me it was going up. All right. Well, listen, I don't want to knock indicators because there's going to be some great presenters here, and it does work for a type of swing trading. I'm actually a day trader. It does not work for day trading. It can't, because by the time the indicator moves, because it's working on past data, you're going to be too late. So, and not only that, but I mean, what chart is easy to read? I mean, seriously, fellow traders, look at this. What chart's easy to read? Chart number 1 or chart number 2? What's easier? Hank said 2. Neo says 2. Brooks says 2. You know what? Once you understand what's happening in chart number 2, then you'll know what's going on with chart number 1. But at any given day, I would rather just see what's happening here, knowing I'm at support levels, and knowing that I have those buyers out there that support that. Simple enough. Oops, what did I do here? I'll clear all my drawings. Okay. Now, did I lose anybody? Are you guys following along? Anybody here following this along? Hank, you following it? Okay, good. Dwayne, listen, we have close to 200 people in here. You should all be able to follow along. Okay. If you're confused, don't worry about it, because you got to start somewhere. Lewis has a question. Because you're looking at prices, that's why indicators are not good. Yes, because I'm focusing on the future. Indicators are focused on the past. Okay, and they do work for, like I said, for swing trading, investing, whatever, and so on. And by the way, everyone has a different strategy. I live here in New York. I was trained by the best traders. We all know this is, the financial capital of the world. Some of the biggest traders on Wall Street live in my own town. Okay. One lives across the street from me. I talk to them all the time. You're not going to beat these guys. Okay. But you know what? They're moving orders. They have, listen, you're the ants on the floor to them. Okay. They don't care about you. But us, we just want those crumbs. These guys are moving millions and millions and millions of shares. You think they care about scaring you to buy a couple of hundred shares? They got no time for you. Okay. So, but you could follow them. And that's what I was taught. So that's why when I teach my traders, I never look down at anyone in here. I will never discount you as, as middle America, or as, as the middle class. You're not the elites. Okay. If you're the elites, you wouldn't even be in here, and the elites won't even talk to you. Okay. But I was you when I came in here, and regardless I might be in the elite category, I said, you know what? If it wasn't for people like you, I would never be where I was. And you know what? Because eventually, if you get good at it, it's just numbers. That's all it is. It's numbers. All right, let me just change the slide here. All right. So listen, if you keep things basic, it just makes things easier. Now, by the way, anybody here trading with Thinkorswim? Anybody trade with Thinkorswim here? Because Thinkorswim just launched. I did a couple of videos. You can watch them on YouTube. That they just came out with level 4. They're probably the only ones that have it next to TradeStation. But I like the Thinkorswim just basically has it. But don't buy it. Please do not buy it. What I want you to do is I'm going to tell you how to register my trading room. I want to show it to you first and then worry about it later, because you're going to be totally lost and you'll end up doing more harm than good. Okay, remember the warning sign I told you in the beginning. All right. So listen, you can't be self-taught trading. I think a lot of people realize that. Trading is about a 90% failure rate. All right. And, you got to have mentors. Listen, John's got a lot of people here that are going to be speaking. You got some great speakers coming up the next couple of days. You have to listen and try to pick and choose who you like. You can't buy everybody's stuff. Okay. But you should buy a few, and you should see everyone's strategy, what you like better. All right. Listen, what I do might not be for you, but it's not going to hurt to at least know the truth about it, because I wouldn't be here if it didn't work. Now, for some of you don't know this already, like John was telling you earlier, I've been featured on every big brokerage firm in the industry. And believe me, you could do your homework on Fausto Pugliese. All right. These people do credit checks on us. They do background checks. You believe me, they will never put me in front of an audience of their own traders, their own clients, if they thought I was teaching people how to lose money. And so we're really big with our reputation. We got a AAA rating at the Better Business Bureau. I got a 5-star rating at Google, but that's irrelevant. These people need you to learn how to trade. If you know how to trade, then you'll be their client forever. And that's what they care more. And there's certain things they can't teach you. And that's why they come to people like us to do that for you. Now, the thing is this, there's no better time to learn how to trade than now. You see what's happening with oil. Market right now is up 350 points. You saw the volatility on Friday. You see what's happening in the past several weeks, and forget about it as seeing what's been happening overall with gas and oil. You see what's going on with inflation. It's a trickle-down effect. You're worrying about China being invaded in Taiwan. Listen, you got to be on top of your money. You work very, very hard, but you cannot be in denial. All right. So what I want to do is this. I want to invite every one of you in my trading room. Every one of you. Okay. And I want you to see the stocks that we're trading, because we are the Marines. Day traders are the Marines. We're the first people online. And if you know what's happening right now, then you'll know and say, you know what? This stock's not looking too good. Maybe I should get out. And guess what? You're going to be like, holy crap. Thank God I got out of that trade. Because seeing what was happening over the course of the day and seeing it dwindle down, it's just a matter of time when that thing is going to just fall off a cliff and get crushed and open up maybe 50%, 70% lower. And you know what? That happens all the time. I'll give you one stock right here that was moving. Let me show you this one. Did anybody see this stock, this pharmaceutical stock today? NKTR. Look at this one. Stock started going down. Listen, the stock was $23. Okay. And you know what? You saw the writing on the wall. You see it as a day trader. It's like, you know what? It's breaking a new 52-week low. Sellers keep selling it. Why do these people keep selling it? Okay. And if you weren't the people that didn't get out in the past couple of days, you woke up this morning, you went from 11 down to 4. That stock is down literally over 50%. Now, they do this with big stocks. I mean, don't even look at it this way, because they're like this on every one of them. And if you see the pattern, if you learn how to be very super conservative, which is what day traders are, that's the bad thing about us. We're very super conservative. We're not speculative at all. And some people don't realize that. But when you have that game plan, you'll just know where to get in, where to get out. All right. So who here wants to come and join us and see this live in the market every day? Anybody here want to be able to see it, what's going on? Now, listen, we start early, okay? You don't, and that's the reason why I want to get an early time slot, because some of you here are here early, and you know what? We start trading around 8 o'clock in the morning. We do a lot of our pre-market trading. And if you're watching this later on the recording, listen, you could trade the afternoon. There's really 2 time slots. The first hour and the last hour are the best times to trade. You could trade in the middle of the day, but we don't trade full time, okay? Most traders probably trade on an average, maybe 2 days a week. All right. So don't look at it like you got to be there every day. Oh, day trading is a job. You can make it a full-time job, but eventually, listen, life gets in the way. The reason why I'm here right now, because, you know, I trade, and if I don't want to trade, I don't have to. You know, I am my own boss. I can do whatever I want. So we'll start commentary live all day. And by the way, this is the original trading room. I started this over 25 years ago. This is your opportunity. I mean, you see them popping up all over the place now, but some of them are our students, just to let you know. Some of our instructors. So, you know, when we teach you, you'll eventually get so good that if you get good at it, you'll be able to teach other people. And that's, you know, there's really, it's not like I'm selling you a program that once you get in, you're screwed and like, oh, I can't do this anymore without Fausto. We don't do that. Every Tuesday, we do a workshop, Traders Talk. People love that. It's all going to be part of this room. You'll be able to send in your questions. We'll pick out some of the questions. We'll go over it in detail. So we're very, very big when it comes to customer service. Now, this all sounds amazing. This is all going to come out. That's what you're going to get. There's one other thing that you're going to get with this. If you can't be there, we do have an alert service that's going to come with this. So on your phone, you'll have an app, and we'll tell you exactly what's going on. Hey, you know what, the stock's making a big move. So you could access our trading room right from the palm of your hands to see what's going on real time. Think about that. You'll have access to, you know, the oldest and most popular educational school, trading school in the industry. And if you have a problem, say, you know what, shoot, I'm out at the doctor, the market's down 600 points. You want to, and you're seeing alerts coming up and like, holy crap, they're killing it on a short. You know what, you could do that. So you don't have to having access to a computer, and you don't have to be there all day. We actually implemented this just less than a couple of months ago. So basically, this is everything you need to get into the trading room. Now, this is what it's all going to cost: $9. That's it. $9 stinking. That's it. Now, people looking at me like, why? Like, why $9? I'll tell you why. We don't know who you are, where you came from. The $9 just tells us if you're a real person or not. We're not going to bill you 7 days later with a $300,000 fee, whatever it is. We don't play that game. The $9 is an application fee. That's what it is. It lets us know who you are you a real person, okay? And if you're going to take it seriously. Now, that's it. That's the deal we're giving. $9. So everything that I taught you, you're going to see this live for 1 whole week. And you know what? If you're not happy with it, I'll give you $9 back. Listen, I don't need your $9, okay? I'm looking for traders I can make 5-6 figures with. So, but I need to show you and introduce you to people that we trained and see if they're making money. Don't look at my money. You go out there and look at theirs. And you know what? There's a lot of presenters here that are going to be showing up, and they're going to talk about their strategy. And like I said, you should buy a little bit of everyone's stuff, but I think everyone could take a shot for $9, money back guarantee, and go from there. Now, let me take a couple of questions really quick that I had here. Does this strategy work for volatile markets? You damn well it does. And if you're not doing it now, you better start doing it because you see what's happening. All right. How much money I need to get started? People always ask me, what about the day trading rule? I heard about this. I can't. You know what you need? $9. That's it. $9. Don't worry about how much money you need. You don't need to have a brokerage firm open up right now. You know, if you have one, that's great. We don't want you to trade. We just want you to watch. That's all we need you to do. Watch, the Litas, the Michaels. Here, I'll even show it to you right now. Some of the traders are doing pretty well right now. This is the trading room. Look at it. They're trading a stock right now, CEAD. This is the room. Michael just made, he traded Hogan. He made about 40 cents on a short. These are the people you're going to be seeing. Look at all these traders out there. You know, Gene just made 15 cents on a stock. By the way, we don't talk about money in the room because, like I said, we don't like egos and we don't like, people bragging and, obviously all about shares. But these are things that we're doing. So you're going to get access to that room. So you don't need a lot of money to do that. All right. And by the way, you're going to get to meet people like this that have great things to talk about. And you know what? The worst thing that can happen is you find out it's not for you. And that's the beauty about it. And I know some of you have been trading for a while, 30 years. I got traders out there been trading. They come in there and they're like, damn, I wish I knew this earlier. It's only going to make you a better trader. So listen, money back guaranteed, $9, get in the trial. We're not going to charge anything more than that, but I got one more bonus I want to throw in there really quick. All right. But by the way, this is what you're going to get. You can get the Mondays and Fridays from 7:45 to do this. You're going to get the Fausto's live meeting. You're going to get 3 pro workshops. These are all the things you're going to get. And by the way, as a bonus, first 20 people register, I will actually even talk to you on the phone because I need to make sure that if you're going to continue, that this is for you or not, because last thing I need is that you're going in to do something and you're not getting it. If you're not getting it, I'll tell you point blank and say, like your doctor, you don't need the surgery. You don't need to do it. You'll do more harm than good, but you need to see if other people make money and go from there. All right. Any other questions? I got about a little less than 2-3 minutes here. And then we're going to pass it on over to Tom. He's going to give away some great prizes. And then you're going to have your next presenter is going to come in here also. When does this start? I'm out of town for a while. Michael, listen, every one of you are going to get access to an education advisor. You're going to tell them when you want to start. And when you tell them when you start, you want to start next week or whatever, and then they'll start your trial. So listen, if you could start immediately, you see what's going on with Ukraine and China and Russia and inflation and oil. Start as soon as you can. Listen, a lot of you guys have stocks right now, but if you can't, don't worry about it. There's one guarantee I will give everyone here. And that is stock market's not going out of business. So don't worry about it. And then go from there. How about SPYs? And you could see the SPYs on it. Absolutely. But John, do you trade the SPYs or you want to make money? I don't trade the SPYs. Why I got to spend all that money to trade the SPYs? I could trade something with less risk, more reward. And that's what you're going to learn, John. And by the way, are you making your 6 figures trading it every day? If you are, then you know what? Then stick with it. But if you're not, it's time to do a change. Anyone else? Got about another minute or two. Now, listen, when you register, it's going to ask you a couple of things. Please tell us a little bit about you. How much money you're trading with? Who's your broker? Have you ever taken training before? Do you have level 2, level 3 access? So please don't be shy. Tell us a little bit about you. The more you tell us about you, the better we can help you. Okay. This is a great opportunity, a great job. A lot of you probably want to do it. Maybe you failed a while ago. I heard people say that too. Says I got nervous. I tried it a while ago and this and that didn't work out. Listen, who trained you? That's where it comes down to. And maybe it wasn't the right time then, but now you're seeing the volatility between, I didn't even talk about the virus stocks for crying out loud. It's been awesome. The trial is 1 week, Paul. Don't worry about anything else after that. Don't worry about what does it cost. We're not charging you a single penny. We'll worry about that later. You think the value is there? Listen, if I'm teaching you to pay 6 figures, I don't think you have an issue paying, for education. But you know what? As of right now, let's just do $9. All right, let's call it a day. All right, everybody. Listen, if you have an issue, you can always call us. If you can't, I don't know why you have a problem with VPN, but you could always call us at that number or 877-70 cyber if you want a free phone call. You can also call us on that if you have any issues. All right, let me pass it on to Tom because he's got a couple of things, a couple of prizes. He's going to pass over the next speaker. Listen, Tom, thanks for having me again. It was awesome. Love talking to your audience. Guys, hope you enjoy the rest of your show here. with all the presenters. They got some great content. Try to listen to the ones. I know you can't probably listen to them all. Try to pick your strategies, who you like, and go from there. But definitely be prepared to enjoy trading and making this as a career. I think you guys are going to do great. You're going to love what you do. But you got to learn before you could earn. Good luck, everyone. Happy trading. And we'll see you all in the trading room.
Hey, Fausto, fantastic presentation as always. Get back out on that boat and catch a lot of fish. Okay, well, that was wonderful. And I can see we got a lot of viewer interest here with all the questions. And if you have questions for any of the speakers, just look in the chat box on the right, put them up, and the speakers will address them or we will address them.